2, 3. Welcome to the Soccer Talk video that we're going to do. Today we have the two other tournaments going on, which is the Champions League and the Europa League. The majority of us are Real Madrid fans. Unfortunately, well, you're a Real Madrid fan too, though.
Yeah.
But the team in the Champions League, obviously. Unfortunately, they got knocked out.
The trash is in his place.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, unfortunately, we got knocked out by Manchester City. Two defensive mistakes, unfortunately, by Varane cost the game. I think if Ramos was there, it would have been a completely different game. Would have told them to not play out the back, passing from the back, which caused a lot of the mistakes.
What happened to Ramos?
Ramos was suspended because he got too many yellow cards in a row. So when you do that, you get suspended. So unfortunately, he wasn't there. And then unfortunately, like some of the players didn't really turn up as much as you would want them to turn up. Mainly players like Hazard, who he was in the game, but he didn't really do anything
Hazard.
He can be a hazard, but unfortunately that game he wasn't, and it cost the game to not have too much going there. Benzema was kind of the only one really like working up top, and Rodrigo I think did well, but obviously like he's a young player, so I think the creativity failed there, and then the mistakes in the back cost the issues.
This year's Real Madrid hasn't been the best either. Like it's a building season, most would say, because when Ronaldo left, it's a completely.
I had to.
It's a completely different shape of the team. The way Zidane has to make the team now, it was shaped around Ronaldo, and now it's not. So it's. I mean, I feel like they did good for what they had. Because also they have a lot of players that aren't of use, let's say, for the Real Madrid standard. So we'll see what they do for transfers this season. But I think they did I think they did well for what they had. They won the league this year, which was surprising. So
yeah, as a Real Madrid fan, I've been pretty happy with how they've done. When they were down, I always have that hope with Madrid where they can, beat the team even when they were down. But one of the popular phrases in our podcast is, "It is what it is."
But yeah, so Man City, do they look strong or no?
Well,
I'm rooting for Man City.
Well, let's talk about we have the bracket here. We'll probably add it in the video somewhere up top. But we have Man City's
editor. Put some flames right.
Okay.
No. So we got Man City, the big team that beat Real Madrid. They're going to be facing Lyon, which is a French team, so an English team and a French team. Lyon is not a team you would expect to be in this position in the tournament, but they've done well with Memphis Depay. And going into Man City, Lyon, I don't know. I would say Man City.
If we take a look at their last games, yes, Lyon went forward, but they lost to Juve. Man City actually won their game against Real Madrid. So, as far as the competition they had, Man City had tougher competition and they won the game. Lyon still had tough competition, but not as good as Real Madrid.
They got a little lucky too,
and they got lucky because if
there was a penalty.
There was a penalty. They got through on away goals, right? They didn't actually. Not to say that doesn't count, but
yeah, don't take it away from.
No, of course not. They definitely won. They went through, but it wasn't convincing. Let's say Man City's was convincing. They won.
I think if you just look at the roster, on paper, they have more stars.
Yeah.
It's like that joke that the Mourinho made up before. It was Man City's bench could beat any of the top teams almost.
Man City's bench could literally beat a good amount of these teams.
Yeah.
Is De Bruyne playing? Has he been
De Bruyne is going to be playing probably for that game for sure.
So yeah, I think for that game, I think we all agree that Man City.
I think we all agree. Going into the next one,
I'm rooting for Lyon though.
You're gonna in the game?
Of course. I don't want Man City to win.
Well, they can lose later for me. I don't mind. The next one let's talk about is RB Leipzig, a German team, versus Atletico Madrid.
That looks like the Red Bull logo.
It's
is.
a Red Bull.
Oh,
They're
that's
sponsored by Red Bull.
Oh, okay.
And then Atletico Madrid, which is a Spanish team, rival of Real Madrid,
And Barcelona.
and Barcelona, kind of like the third top team in La Liga, but they're facing off each other. Two teams where you could see them get to this point, but one thing to highlight is RB Leipzig is going to be missing out on Timo Werner, which is kind of their top goal scorer. So now
it's
losing.
Micho
So-
from the team.
So with
Yeah.
that, as well, reporting not too long ago was confirmed that 2 players did test positive
Oh
From
yeah,
for
Atletico.
COVID for
Well,
Atletico.
it wasn't players. I think it was staff. That's what I read at least.
I was read
I read it
traveling
was
players.
Oh.
So
But,
I mean, we won't really know until we get confirmation from the league or from the Champions League. But that is something to think about as well, because if they're positive, they're gonna have to
They're
do
not
a
gonna
whole
be
round of
able to.
tests for the other teams, for the rest of the players, I should say, or squad in general, and then see if they're even gonna be able to play that game.
Yeah, I think that match. I think it's like Thursday, Friday, or something like that. I think it'll be postponed.
no.
As long as it depends on how fast they rush those COVID tests.
I mean, yeah, I mean
because if let's say those 2 players or whoever they are, if they do have it, then
who they contact.
if they did contact the rest of the team, then the rest of the team is not going to be able to play, obviously, if they get confirmed.
Yeah.
But if it's just those 2, depending on who they are, though, it might be a huge miss. Like if it is like
Someone-
Oblak, for
yeah.
example, like that's a big miss.
Huge.
But I think it just depends. I mean, we'll see as it comes out.
So in this game, we see 2 teams that might be. Well, one team, obviously RB Leipzig, missing out on Timo Werner. They're probably their best player. And then Atletico possibly missing out on some players. So 2 teams that may not be at full capacity. Atletico Madrid did beat Liverpool because they're more of a defensive team. So I don't know. I think in this game, Atletico Madrid a little bit more defensive, better defensively, versus RB Leipzig, somebody who's missing out on their striker. I
But
think
their attack has always their connecting
Yeah,
with
with
has always
Sabitzer.
been great with Sabitzer, with Forsberg, with Campbell. Campbell in the Bundesliga, he was playing amazingly. He was doing very well, and even they have Patrick Schick, who scored a couple goals. He's young, but he's kind of he's gaining some momentum. And then of course you have Yusuf Poulsen, which he sometimes has good games,
And
but
was injured?
sometimes not. I think he's fine now. I'm not sure.
Well, they did have the lockdown.
They did. They were. It's been a while since the Bundesliga,
I got
since
you.
all that
I
happened.
got
So, if he is at good strength, then I think they could edge it out. I was talking about like Patrick Schick and Yusuf Poulsen, who are the strikers currently. I think Timo Werner is definitely a huge miss, but I think it may be possible.
Go on.
It may be possible for RB Leipzig to edge out a win. I think they could even get to the final. I don't know if they could win the final.
You're dreaming.
We
man.
can
I'm
talk
sorry.
about final predictions at
Just
the end.
saying.
But-
But I think they could beat Atletico Madrid. It would be really tough. I personally, I want Leipzig to win, but I'm pretty certain Atletico will beat them. But I do want Leipzig to win.
I think Atletico for me is going to be the winner, just because, like what I said, I think they're better defensively, and RB Leipzig missing out on Timo Werner. Yes, they do have more other powers attacking for sure. I won't disagree with that, but I think Atletico is just organized to beat them, in my opinion. But we'll see.
Their aggression as well.
Eric,
Atletico
Ben?
Madrid,
All I'm gonna say is that Atletico beat Liverpool.
which is not that big of a feat. Let's be honest.
All right. Any other inputs for this one?
I would say Atletico, just by looking at their roster, might have the better team. Following their league, like since it's resumed, they haven't been so hot.
True.
You could say the same thing about Leipzig.
They've had a few
Um,
good games here and
Yeah.
I mean, you can say the same thing about Atletico. So it really just comes down to, I'm sure Atletico's gonna be more on the defensive. I think that's their nature. Their manager thrives on them being defensive, and being able to take the most out of their like key piece attacking. So I'm gonna give it to Atletico as well.
All right. Next, we have PSG Atalanta, French team Paris versus Atalanta, Italian team. Atalanta is not a team that we would expect even close to anywhere in this
You would
tournament.
honestly not even be like whoever has put money on Atalanta to reach this point is
Millionaire.
probably living pretty wealthy right now.
I mean,
But,
they're the Ajax of the tournament so
Yeah.
far.
I think
compared
even
to last
lower. I think Ajax is a well-known team.
Ajax
You expect they have that history versus Atalanta. There's not that there, but they have a lot of good players. And what Ilicic, Papa Gomes, right?
Yeah, Gomez.
And then
So like I don't mean to interrupt you with that, but I heard there's a rumor that Illich might not play, and he is
Big
even
miss.
considering retiring.
What?
Nah.
Mid-tournament?
Yes.
Mid-tournament.
Now
Well,
the reason I can't remember the reason exactly, but something had to do I think with his personal life, that he might have to move back to where I think he's from. I'm not too sure.
whose team is he on? He's from Atalanta.
Atalanta.
Let's focus on the game though. So like
But
him.
if he doesn't play, then that's huge because he has been a star for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think without them is the same thing, kind of like even more, I think, heavier than Timo Werner being out.
Yep.
I think the same effect would apply there. I would like Atalanta to go through, but PSG is
True
PSG.
Cinderella.
They have Neymar, Mbappe, but Mbappe is injured, I believe, still, and he's going to be missing out on this
Oh,
game.
yeah.
So they're going to be missing out, but I think they do have Neymar, they have Cavani, they have Icardi, they have the
Di
back
Maria.
line, which is definitely like, I wouldn't say they're the best back line in like the whole tournament, but they have a good back line, you know, Thiago
Well,
Silva.
Not
I think the biggest factor with this game, specifically with PSG, is that they did not have competition. Like they did not play their league.
they're coming in fresh.
The French
You
league
can say fresh, but also out, not ready.
not
Not
ready.
match
So
fit,
the
not
French
match fit.
the
Not
French
match
league
fit.
decided instead of postponing the league, they ended it and made PSG champions. So
Which was gonna happen anyway.
They were already like almost mathematically like they were gonna win it.
Yeah.
Because no one else was gonna catch up to them.
They were really ahead,
It's the French league every single year.
basically.
So I think because of that, PSG has not had a lot of games to play. I saw recently they played a friendly with Sochaux, I think, and they won 8-1, which is normal
But
for PSG, but the competition's not there. Sochaux's not playing necessarily to win either. So Atalanta at least had some games in the Serie A to get some match fitness, match sharpness, which is going to be the biggest thing I think for PSG. So I mean, we'll see what happens there. I think
a good game then.
It could be an even game, maybe
I
more
think
than
it-
we expect, I guess.
honestly, I think Atalanta is going to beat them. I think PSG is not ready.
So I would agree with you, but we are forgetting one key person that's in between the sticks, and how he was
Okay.
a jungle cat for our Madrid team before we bought
True.
Courtois,
True.
and that man can save almost anything outside the goal. I think he's gonna be a key difference if Atlanta come on the attack. But I also think that Neymar is just gonna. I mean, again, they like you pointed out. I don't think they've played a team that's to their caliber. And yeah, to in a sense, you get morale when you tragically when you beat a team that's not at your pace. But at the same time, like this is the Champions League. This is not your own league. This is something where you're playing with the big boys now. Like when they go up against Atletico, that's gonna be more of a challenge for them.
Wait, you mean when Atalanta go up against Atletico?
So you think PSG is gonna win?
I think
I'm
PSG's gonna edge it
I'm also gonna think PSG.
just by talent.
I think Neymar's gonna pull through. I think he's up for the tournament.
He's
This
not
is
ready.
one of the tournaments that he
He's not
hasn't been
injured.
able to like really win and succeed. He's usually injured at this point in the tournament, like every year. But I think the time off has done well for him. He's probably been able to vacation more, be more happy, hang out with his sister, and then. But I think he's up for it. I think he's gonna do well. I think in this game, I want Atalanta to go through just for the fun and the history. But I think PSG will go through. Benji?
The quick thing with that one, I think with Neymar, I don't think he's carried PSG. So I think Mbappe is a player who can carry a team. Just having Neymar, I mean, they also have really great players otherwise than him, but I don't think Neymar can carry a team.
I understand that. Yeah, I wouldn't argue
That's
that.
why I think. I mean, Atalanta the whole tournament has been surprising. I think we can all agree on that.
They're also a fun team to watch.
They're a fun team to watch for sure. And I hate PSG. I hate to say it, but
True.
And I want Atalanta. I think they can do it. I think they've got it in their locker. And PSG, no Mbappe. They still got Neymar, but Neymar's in Mbappe's shadow forever. In PSG.
True. I agree with that.
Any other final comments on that?
Change his team. What game are we on?
Alright, the final game for the bracket would be Barcelona versus Bayern Munich. Obviously, as Real Madrid fans, we don't like Barcelona. We want Barcelona to lose. And so I'm a full team Bayern Munich. I think
they can do it.
I even think that even if I was a Barcelona fan, I'd be worried. Bayern Munich has been probably one of the best teams. So I don't know if you guys know, but Barcelona, Spanish team, obviously, well known. Bayern Munich is the German team, top team for Munich. But anyways,
Wait, Barca's the number one?
No. It's just saying La Liga.
They're one of the
They're
top
good.
teams.
They're one of
Oh,
those.
okay.
But I mean, like I said, if I was Barcelona, I'd be worried about Bayern Munich. They've done well. I mean, they've won how many leagues? Like back to back. And this season, last season, I think the last couple have been a little harder than most, but they still carry through. Lewandowski is insane.
He's crazy.
For me, probably the best player in all of football right now. For this year, he would have won the Ballon
He got
d'Or,
robbed,
in
yeah.
my opinion. But unfortunately, that's canceled. But like I said, top player Messi is on Barcelona. But I think if I would go Lewandowski, Messi to make the difference in the game, I think Lewandowski is more consistent. I think Messi could, if he's having a bad day, he's gonna have a bad day, and he's not gonna be able to produce.
Well,
Versus Lewandowski, you're probably, if you're betting on him, probably a safe bet.
Well, I think with that, I kind of disagree with you. I think Messi will show up, but I think the players around him might not. I think that's been the issue. I think Messi is Messi. He's at this point. I mean,
But you
he's
see
the
it in
best.
some games where he gets upset with the other people.
I agree, but that's
Yeah.
what caused it. Because obviously Messi produces quality, but the players around him don't.
Yeah.
At times. So, and that's the difference with Bayern. Bayern, they do have that Lewandowski, but even then, Messi's better than Lewandowski.
It's more than.
But Lewandowski has people around him as well who are really good players, like Thiago, even like the flanks. You have
Kimmich.
Alphonso
Well, that's
Davies,
why-
Kimmich. Like those are better players in my opinion than what Barcelona has. But I think Messi could carry them to the final, but I think those Bayern will stop them.
Because they'll work better as a team.
They are better as a team, and also if you look at their leagues when they restarted, Barcelona gave up the La Liga. They gave it up. They lost a lot of games. They tied a lot of games. They gave up the game. So the league, Bayern, they had competition. They were
It was close.
it was very close, but Bayern kept their consistency up. So I think Bayern are going to stop Barcelona fairly easily, in my opinion. Barcelona is not convincing enough for me.
I agree.
I would have to agree on both points. I think if you really think about it, even if Messi shows up, if you look at positional where players are, and you take into account matchups, Bayern is so much better from in terms of, like for example, Davies that plays left back. That man has pace for days. He's gonna be, putting balls in. Lewandowski is gonna be able to finish them, and I think that's what makes the difference. To your point, is Lewandowski does well, and as well he has players around him that can contribute, and that's a big thing. The biggest difference, and the defense is just, I think, a better. Like Samuel said, they haven't missed a beat since restarting. It's like they never, like you wouldn't have guessed there was a break.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Barcelona in that sense has not had that consistency. They rely heavily on Messi to show up. I'm not saying it's gonna be an easy fight for Bayern to win it, but I think they're gonna edge it because of those certain matchups of where certain players are at a different caliber right now than Barcelona. Yeah, they have a great keeper in the sticks, but so does Bayern. I think they're relying on the goalies.
Understudy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's two German
Shoot.
keepers on both
That's what I'm
sides.
saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? But to be honest, if you really think about it, their two most amazing players are just Messi and Ter Stegen, where you have
A whole squad.
a whole squad
Let's be honest.
of players that are gonna be attacking at a different level.
Yeah, sure.
They're a young squad from a winger's perspective.
Well, that's true.
So I mean, you're talking about having Jordi Alba, he's quick, he's older.
I mean, you got Piqué. And
You got Piqué, who's 10, who's
Or
his,
Lenglet's been
his
playing.
tendency is to make mistakes, because he doesn't have the legs. They're gonna have Busquets back and Vidal. Busquets doesn't have legs either. So again, it's gonna come down to matchups, and Bayern's gonna win.
That was one thing they talked about with Barcelona needs the game to be in their hands. They need to be ahead before the whistle, kind of, because the way they play that tiki-taka style, especially with the players they have, they need to be more easy.
They need to go into the game.
Versus Bayern Munich will
Thinking
take
that.
the game from minute 1 to minute 90. They'll push on, and I think, obviously we're Madrid fans, so there's bias there. But I think.
What do you think?
I completely agree with you guys, but I think the key thing was what you said. Since the restart, you've seen all these teams play differently, the majority of them, except for Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, they're in Bundesliga, one of the most difficult leagues, nothing more difficult than La Liga. Bayern Munich hasn't missed a beat, Barcelona has. They lost La Liga. Simple as that. Bayern Munich has more depth too. And are they doing the 5 substitutions?
Still, yep.
Yeah.
That's
4
confirmed.
or 5?
It's 5.
So they
It's
also
confirmed
have
until 2021.
that.
They got all their subs.
All their subs. They have more subs
I mean,
that are better.
Bayern is similar to Man City in the fact that their subs could beat most teams.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Correct.
So definitely Bayern going through for us, in our opinion. What about the final? Who wins it all? Who are you backing?
I think for me, I do want Leipzig to win. That's my favorite. I want them to win very badly. But I think Bayern is going to win.
Okay.
Bayern. I think Bayern's going to beat Man City. I think Bayern could beat Atletico or PSG very easily. So I think Bayern for me will probably win it, but my pick is Leipzig.
Eric?
I'm gonna go. I would really like a Cinderella story. I would like Atalanta to win it all, but if I'm a betting man, I'm gonna do Bayern.
So you're not a betting man.
Nope.
Alright. Victor? As from everything you've heard. Alright, Victor. For me, I'm going to go with Bayern Munich. I'm a Dortmund fan, so it kind of hurts, to see Bayern Munich win. But I want them to win because I think out of all the teams, I think they're the best team that deserves to win the trophy. Like we said, Bayern Munich has done well since the stop, and them coming back, I think they deserve it. Lewandowski deserves it as being, I think, in my opinion, the best player since the break, and as a season as a whole with all the goals he scored. So it'd be nice for them to win the trophy, which they haven't been able to win for a while now. But that's my vote.
I'm honestly kind of in a toss-up right now between Bayern Munich and Man City, simply because Man City, what did they do this season? Absolutely nothing. They didn't win anything.
They got close.
They got close.
They won.
Community Shield. What was
I
it?
think the Carabao Cup is what it's called. I think.
So they won nothing, and you have Pep Guardiola as manager. Pep Guardiola, he's gonna be hungry for the Champions League, and you have him pushing on his whole team. Bayern Munich, they have the depth, they have the players. So do Man City. It's kind of a toss-up between them. If I had to choose, I would probably say Man City.
Interesting.
Just because you could argue Man City have an easier path to the finals because all they have to do is beat Lyon, then they face someone else into the final. So Lyon's sort of an easier matchup, giving the players more comfort and more match fitness, more squad depth maybe in the second leg. While Bayern Munich, back to back, both games have to give their all because no matter what, you're up against Barcelona. You don't know if you're gonna win the second leg. If Man City,
There's only one leg.
There's
there's only one leg.
Yeah,
It's on one leg.
it's one leg
It's one game.
matchups.
Yeah.
Oh no,
What was that?
Bayern Munich. There's no,
think-
I don't know, cause like.
Then
Yeah, I
you look
think
at
they got it.
look at the defense between Bayern and City, and it's a clear winner for you.
I
Super
mean,
goals
clear.
win
You can
games.
decide, but
Defense wins games.
Goals win games. I'm sorry.
Defense wins.
A
games.
0-0 game isn't gonna win you the game.
a,
Alright.
a clash of what's it called?
Clash of tactics.
Clash of tactics.
Shot
Alright.
supremacy.
And Jacob, what you go? You said Man City
I mean,
earlier.
if I have to guess the final, I would say PSG and Man City. Like just like by statistics. I mean, Bayern is pretty good too, but I'm obviously rooting for Man City. So
You think City will be PSG then in the final?
I mean, if Mbappe is not playing, then they have a bigger chance of winning. Because Neymar, you just do this and he's injured.
That's true.
And
Mbappe won the World Cup.
And 19.
so yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for Man City.
All right. All the games are coming up this week, and then final coming soon. So
Final is on.
we'll find out who wins.
The 23rd of August on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern
All right,
time.
so we'll be celebrating the winner with our podcast.
Man City.
We'll know.
All right.